My name is Sydney Couye, and welcome back to another episode of none other than Sydney's on the Clock. And guess what? I am so happy to share this exciting news with you all today. So, Mr. Chris Williams, or Christopher Williams, is somebody who's not new to this show. Obviously, I say this, come almost every show at this point. But he is now officially my new co-host on Sydney's on a Clock. And I am so excited. Thank you, Chris.
Man, Sydney, this is a blessing. I'm elated. Thank you for this opportunity.
Chris.
Yeah.
You are what, 2021, and now you have your own spot on the talk show? How is that?
Man, I can remember just doing a podcast 3 years ago during the pandemic. Basically just a camera, my computer camera, but now, man, God's been blessing me. He's allowing me to use my talents and my gifts. So I'm ecstatic.
It's crazy how the world pans out. It's funny because me and Chris actually had a class together. Who would have known 8 months later we would have been co-hosts?
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
So, what is going on in the NBA? Why is all of a sudden everybody getting hurt? I mean, people from Derek White to Dennis Smith to Tyree Eason, even to Anthony Davis, Ben Simmons, Zion Williamson, CJ McCollum. What's going on?
There's so many injuries, Sydney. So I did my little research,
Mm-hmm.
So I feel as though, the wear and tear, a lot of the NBA athletes, they have to shift, they have to turn, they have to do different things to get to the basket. Look at Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose was the most explosive player that you ever seen since like Jordan.
Right.
And he blew out both his knees, ACL injuries back to back. He never really. He's that athlete that's like what could have been, or
like if he would have stayed healthy, what type of potential or where would he be now?
Basically, man, he might be an NBA champion, dunk champion, the whole 9 yards, but we'll never get to see that potential, and that's sad.
So I have a question for you then. Do you think that the season needs to be shortened then? Do you think that it's too much wear and tear going on these athletes for them to be giving 110% every game for about 80 games a season?
Yes, cause I feel like as though the commissioner, I feel like he's trying to make it as soccer is. Because, like with soccer, they have different tournaments, they have different championships, and it doesn't make sense at all. But it makes sense for that sport. But with basketball, I feel as though with the play-in tournament, the in-season tournament, all these tournaments, man, that is not worth it. I feel like with the play-in, that's good, but with everything else around there, it's not. It's too much.
And since you touched on Adam Silver and you touched on, or at least the NBA Board of Governors too, because they're the ones who decided, officially, the fact that the in-season tournament should be implemented. Do you think the fact that load management that's also being implemented, which is where you can only have one star sit out at a time, if not, you'll start getting fined because they feel as if too many players are sitting down. Do you think that's also going to affect the fact that we may see more injuries in the future since now they're essentially being forced to play?
Yes, I do, because I feel like, just touching back what you're saying, like with the tournaments and things and load management, I just feel like it's too much. Like, why do we need another championship just to determine the winner? The only thing that we need is a play-in and the NBA playoffs. That's it. Because, it's not like football where we're playing like 18 games.
Right.
But it's basketball. You're playing 82 games. So basically, you're playing every game, every night.
And you see, I can actually agree with you on that point specifically because I think the in-season tournament is going to be something that is big right now. However, I think 2-3 years from now, they've realized that they've made a mistake. Just because I agree with you. It's too much wear and tear, which, don't get me wrong, there has been times where athletes abused that policy, which is why I know that's the reason it went into effect in the first place. You had athletes that literally just sat down because they were either trying to get a better pick later on when it came to the draft, or they just didn't want to hurt their star player. So honestly and truly, we're going to continue this conversation because there is more that's coming next to on Sydney's on the Clock in this next segment. Thank you.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Right now, during the season of inspiration at Team Mazda, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new Mazda CX-5, or get 0.9% financing on the all-new 24 Mazda CX-90. Save thousands on over 150 new Mazdas now on sale at Team Mazda.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
And we are back with another segment of Sydney's on the Clock. So, Chris, last segment we kind of touched on the fact that we think that if 82 games in the season is kind of just outrageous in general.
Yes.
Do you think that also plays a fact to where that can affect a player's mental health as well, too? Because we've seen something like that with Ben Simmons.
I'm going to say that as well. With Ben Simmons, you know, he was a 2016 big-time power forward from LSU.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he had a lot of – he was like a child prodigy. He had a lot of things riding on his back. So, yes, mental health can take a toll on because of the 82 games. And I feel like many athletes go through different things, different different problems in their life, and you never know what happens. But 82 games is just too much.
Okay, so speaking on the fact that we're still touching on basketball, what is going on in the Bayou? So here we are in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Baton Rouge is also known to produce some of the best athletes in the world. However, the past reigning national champions for our women's basketball team, the LSU Tigers, Lady Tigers, the girls basketball team, there's been a lot of, I'm not going to say drama, but there's been a lot of off the court and on the court issues. And we've seen it time and time again, especially as the girls continue to play their preseason games or their pre-conference games. They're not the same LSU we seen last year.
No.
What's going on?
I just feel like, man, there's a lot of distractions. You know, just with the new NIL. NIL is good. You know, it gives the players a chance to market off their likeness.
Mm-hmm.
But see, with Angel Reese, you know, she, ever since the NCAA championship versus Caitlin Clark in Iowa, I feel like a lot of this has gone to her head. And I just feel like, man, if she gets back focused and she realizes, wait, I'm an athlete, I'm also a student, let me get back to focus on the game. So,
So me personally, I personally believe that as a black woman, I think black women in sports, especially whenever they excel, should be able to revel in that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of time black women are put down on a lesser pedestal, unfortunately. The fact that anytime we celebrate wins, it could come off as too cocky. Anytime they're confident in themselves, it's too annoying, is they're doing too much. But you will never say that to a male player. However, in Angel Reese's situation, I think that you are partly right, just stemming from the fact of we all first came to know Angel Reese due to basketball. Oh, yeah. Because she was a good player and she had a lot of talk. But that's the thing, she could back it up.
Yeah.
That's what we saw with her playing. So when she started to blow up, she started to blow up in a conversation that wasn't just basketball. She became not just a social media presence or a social media celebrity. She just became her own entity in itself, aside from basketball. So now, don't get me wrong, when people originally heard Angel Reese's name, we knew her as Angel Reese, the basketball player. Now we just know her as Angel Reese, the personality. And I think that the fact that NIL does play a factor in that, like you mentioned, because of the fact that we, especially in her TikTok and her Instagram and her social medias, we saw that she was not practicing the way she used to. She was not in a lab. She was not at practices. Or I vividly remember her, just following her off of TikTok. Vividly remember Angel Reese going all over the world when it's like, when are you practicing? Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of times, especially with NIL, it could be tricky because a lot of students, a lot of them don't come from money like that. No. So when you're coming into multi-million dollars, I can understand where it gets to you. Yeah. However, at the end of the day, you're making this money because of what your foundation was in the first place, and that is basketball. She can't lose sight of that because we've seen that even with her being benched or suspended now from playing collegiate basketball, and who knows how long that's going to be, because you know a lot of the time the caps is for a couple of probably 10-15 games she might have to miss, and that's due to her GPA. You are a student athlete first, meaning they're paying for you to go to school. I think a lot of time players forget that you're not bigger than the sport. The sport is what made you you.
And I'll say this, Sydney, like, to be honest, LSU's GPA is like a 3.3 to get in. 26 ACT score. But you have to realize, you have to really separate yourself and realize, whether it's football, tennis, whatever, you're a student first, right? Whether it's online, whether, it doesn't matter. But hopefully she can get it together.
Well, that is not all with Sydney's on the Clock. We will be right back after commercial break.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
The winning play is the Buy Here, Sell Here event at the Team Automotive Group. Buy here and save on hundreds of certified and pre-owned vehicles. Or sell here and we'll pay you top value. Buy here or sell here and you'll be the winner at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Now's the best time to experience Mazda during the Season of Inspiration at Team Mazda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on your new Mazda. That's right, shop now, choose your new Mazda, and make no payments for 90 days at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me taste the feeling.
This is Sydney and Chris, and we are back with another segment of Sydney's on the Clock. So now, you're a Louisiana native, so you know through and through that one of the biggest games, and honestly, I believe all college football, because it's been going on for 50 years now. The Bayou Classic will be having its 50-year anniversary this weekend, coming up in New Orleans, Louisiana, between Grambling University and Southern University. And as you know, especially because I have made some rounds around school and just in the sports world in general with some of my opinions when it comes to Southern, because as we know, Coach Eric Dooley has now been fired as head coach. And now they have Coach Sean Woods, who's serving as active head coach. And we have Coach Graves, who's serving as interim head coach, which is kind of funny because you gave two men who essentially have the same job, or at least going to be doing the same job, the same title, just in different fonts. But hey, what do you think is going to happen now due to the fact that Dooley is gone?
Well, shout out to Coach Dooley. I know it didn't work out, but I hope and pray that you have another opportunity at another school.
Oh, he will. He got that cash. He good. I can guarantee you that. They pay his contract out. He is fine.
Well, what I think is going to happen, I think, shout out to Sean Wallace. He's going through stage 4 cancer, and that's
strong.
That's a difficult thing. But with that, I think they're going to play. They're going to play for Dooley. They're going to play for Coach Sean Wallace, and I feel like it's going to be a competitive game. Both offenses are high-powered offenses, and I believe that it's going to be both a defensive and offensive game, and I believe the score will be 27-24.
Ooh, 27-24 with the Jags taking it.
Yeah.
I think it will be around the same range, but honestly and truly, I feel like it depends on who they have as QB1.
Yes.
Because we've been hearing in talks over and over again the fact that, what's his name again? I can't even remember his name. Blood.
Harold Blood.
Harold Blood will not be playing as starting QB, supposedly. Again, don't quote me on this. Don't fact check me. Supposedly. This is just a little talk going around in the sports world. And as you know, I was very vocal last episode of the fact that he shouldn't have been starting as QB1 at all.
No.
But now you have Grambling's QB1 transfer, Noah Bolden, who will now potentially be serving as QB1 against his former school. Which literally he played in his exact same game as a true freshman last year.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to impact the game going forward? The fact that now he's seen both teams.
I believe that, man, he knows what Grambling's defense is going to do. And mind you, Noah Bolden,
I think it's Bolden, yeah.
So he was number 1 quarterback in New York in 2020. So he has all the tangibles that he needs to succeed. But, during the PV game, he struggled. He was about 4 out of 7 passing, and it was like 127 QBR. It wasn't great, 53% completions as well. But I feel like even with one of those games, I think it was Texas Southern where he was in, he threw a touchdown. And give him the right system, the right opportunity, Noah's going to shine. So it's just being Sean Wallace and Terrence Graves' system, and also Willie Todden being the quarterback coach now, he can actually...
Oh, actually?
Yeah.
He's not... Okay, so Willie Todden is now taking over as OC.
Okay.
Offensive coordinator,
okay.
But he used to be Southern University's quarterback coach. And before then, I believe he served as OC as well, too, at Mississippi Valley. And he went a couple other places like Clark Atlanta, I remember, because I went to the press conference whenever Banks was talking about the not resigning, but firing of Coach Dooley.
Yeah.
So now, because a big critical point in Southern University's downfall this year was the fact that they didn't have an OC.
No.
And now that you've appointed an OC,
we could do our
do you
job.
think that's going to change?
Yes.
Change the game?
Yes, because, look at Willie Todden. Willie Todden, he was a quarterback back in the 80s, and he knows the offense. he's been around the offense for years. So hopefully we get a win.
Hopefully get a win. You know, we bleed our blue and gold over here through and through. Yeah. But we will be back with one more commercial break, and Sydney's on the clock. We'll be here.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Celebrate this holiday season with the gift of a new Honda during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. And now you can make no payments for 90 days on our biggest selection of Hondas this year, making this the happiest time of the year. Come save now at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
This is Sydney Coulier and Chris Williams, and we are back with Sydney's on the clock. Now, Formula One has kind of took the world by storm, especially this country, as it was recently in Las Vegas. And there was a lot going on specifically with Formula One, from the fact that a lot of spectators were trying to see, from the tickets being $6,000 a head just to get in, from it obstructing the view of what a lot of Las Vegas locals would say, this is not normal, we need to see the strip, this is how we make our money. So what do you think about Formula One? Because me personally, I've actually always liked watching cars. But then again, Formula One is a rich person sport, and I think a lot of people tend to forget that.
I mean, I watched it for a little while. I was interested because I was listening to commentators. I like their accents. Because basically, I mean, they're British. So I was like, they're like, hello, or something like that. It's Formula One or something. But, I mean, it's interesting, but I'm not really like a racing guy. Like, I never really like... But I mean, if there's like a brother racing, oh yeah, I'm watch him. But if it's somebody else, I'm just like, I don't like it.
And you know, it's true. Like, as much as I'm not gonna say I watch Formula One a lot, but I used to watch a lot of like NASCAR races here and there. And then, you know, Formula One is the big one, like that's worldwide. And so, especially whenever I heard over a year ago when it first happened that they decided that they were going to have a Vegas Grand Prix, I started to pay attention to what was going on in Formula One. What I mean, the money these companies will put behind a driver in their car is absolutely insane. I mean, insane. And it makes sense because, you know, the big Grand Prix is in Monaco. Monaco is the richest, is the richest country in the world, of course. Everybody has money. But just hearing all the fact that it was so many private planes landing in Las Vegas at once that they had to do kind of an Uber thing where you got dropped off and then you had to go bus your private plane somewhere else. It's just insane. So do you think the fact that now that a lot more people in the States are starting to become aware of Formula One, that there will start being more of an interest that we might see, not just Grand Prix or the Vegas Grand Prix, that we'll start seeing other cities start getting their own Grand Prix in the United States?
Well, I don't know, cause there's different pastimes. There's baseball. There's hockey.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know. There are racing fans, but it's just like, do we really give it the opportunity to do it?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm gonna say just yes and no, because it can go either way.
I feel like not now, because we already know America's favorite pastime is football. We already know what that is. And after football, it's kind of tied between baseball and basketball.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, NASCAR is really big, but you have to realize too, NASCAR is also in very much select cities, and that's for a reason, because that's where they actually have interest in it, and not just interest. That's where they can build a business around it, because again, today sports is a business, and people tend to forget that all the time. Sports is a business. If you're not bringing in money, if a city isn't accumulating money from having something there, they're not, like, we've seen it with the move of different teams and this and that. You need to have money behind what's going on. And I think, honestly and truly, even though Vegas is very much Vegas, I wouldn't say New York, because where would you have that in New York City? Unless it's around Central Park somewhere. I mean, it's a lot of buildings. But I think LA might potentially have their own Grand Prix. Not now, but maybe 10 years from now in the future. Yeah. Would you go to a Grand Prix race? I mean, or a Formula One race?
Maybe.
I feel like, look, as a sportscaster, it's important for you to see every asset, every just anything when it comes to sports. So why not just get a little dibble dabble here and there?
Yeah.
So have you also heard the fact that the NBA is now expanding?
Yes, they are expanding.
And there should be 2 teams. There should be a Las Vegas Aces coming. There's supposed to be a guys equivalent, and there should be bringing back the Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah.
How is that going to affect, especially given that these 2 teams will be in the West?
Man, that's a lot of competition. I'm just ready for it.
You ready?
Yeah.
We're ready. But this has been Sydney Couye and
Chris Williams.
And thank you so much for tuning in for Sydney's on the Clock. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.